Today, I got it in my head that I wanted to try what I thought was a white marble on my nails. But when I found out what a white marble is, it's basically a white background with the black streaks. So that's not what I wanted to do. So I found out that what I actually wanted to do is called white onyx. So I have my computer up here at my nail desk, and this is kind of what I wanted to do. Kind of like something like this, or this, just kind of like that marbly pattern, but white with white. Sort of like a sheer white with a white. So let's see if I can do it. So the colors I got out for this are some sheers and some opaque colors. So sheer means you can see through it, opaque means that it's solid and you can't see through it. So Funny Bunny OPI is kind of one of the most popular colors I've come across. People love this color. It's a really nice kind of sheer white neutral that just looks really pretty on. Simple, elegant. So I think I'm just gonna put some of that in my dish. It looks kind of opaque, but it is not. Just a little bit. And we'll put that off to the side. And then I have this sheer as well. This is called Cloud 9, and it's a gel 2 color. I haven't used this one much before. It's kind of like a creamy kind of white. Oh, it looks like there's stuff in there. It's been a long time since I've used it. So I'm gonna put that, I might use that as the base actually, but I'll put some on my little palette anyway. And off to the side. And then I have some opaque colors. This is Snow Bunny, which is by Gelish. It is opaque and it's kind of a cream sort of white. Maybe that will come in useful. And then this is Arctic Freeze, which is also Gelish. It's a very stark whiteout kind of white. So these are the colors I'm gonna try using. I have to say I'm kind of nervous. This is my first attempt with this kind of marble. You kind of do like a black and white marble a certain way, like a black background and a white marble a certain way. You kind of do a white background with black marble streaks a certain way. Rose quartz is done a certain way. So kind of nervous to see how this works out. I think I'm gonna try using, as you can see, I have color swatches here in case of emergency, in case something doesn't go right. So I'm gonna start with some of this Cloud 9, the really sheer white, and see if I can get some kind of decent background with that. As you saw in that picture of the computer that I sent you, I didn't send it to you, that I showed you earlier. I kind of like that. That's sort of pretty, right? I'm gonna cure this actually. Okay, so this is cured, and let me see about doing another coat of this. I don't want it to really look clear. I want it to have some color, like if you were gonna do it on your actual nail, you'd want it to have some sort of background so it just looked like something. So this is a thin layer. It's a lot of brush strokes. Okay, so we're just gonna leave this like this. It doesn't matter if it's perfect, really. And let's see, I also brought some of my favorite brushes This is a Presto brush. I use this for colors that I have to paint on that either come in a pot or don't have a brush or something like that. There's lots of good uses for it. It's the Presto Round 6. So I find this one really helpful, and I brought a liner brush too, which is also Presto. This is my favorite liner brush. It's the Art 2 brush. No, 11. The Art 11. I may or may not use this one. I want to try doing some marble streaks with, let's see, maybe I'll try using the Opaque for this right now and see how this works. It might be too subtle, we'll see. So it's just really light kind of brush strokes. Nothing tapping too hard, not too much thought into it. Just kind of putting it on. That's one of my biggest things, is just overthinking all of this and almost making it seem scary, like I don't want to make a mistake. And really, it's kind of hard to learn anything if you're not willing to just make a mistake. And this is such an easy thing to do. When it's not on your nail, you just get some swatches and just do some experiments. That's kind of pretty, right? I'm gonna go ahead and cure that too. All right, so that's done. I'm gonna clean my brush in between these colors just so things don't end up looking muddy. Because you kind of want it to be blended, but then there's parts that aren't really blended. Let me try some of this white. So this is my very stark and opaque white. You can see that it's really showing up on there. Clean that off again. And just take it and blend it down a little bit. You should just not be afraid to make some brush strokes and blend things. And if it doesn't work out perfectly, especially with gel, you can really easily take off the last layer that you did and start over. Just have to not be afraid. Don't be afraid. So it's looking good. I like it, actually. I'm just gonna add a little bit of maybe this funny bunny, the sheer funny bunny, just to sort of help it kind of blend a little bit better. But the way you really get the dimension in there where it looks 3D is by leaving some spots more or less like the base color that we did, that kind of sheer creamy base. So it ends up having some shallow spots that are whiter, some darker spots that are a little bit, what am I saying? Deeper. It's funny when you're making these videos, you just kind of talk, and sometimes you really say things that don't make any sense. So, add a little bit more here, funny bunny. I think I might add, I didn't use that brush yet, I'm not going to. Maybe add a little bit more, I want it to be slightly more opaque at the top. It sort of got blended. which is all right. The bottom looks really good though, right? Looks pretty marbly. And remember with gel, if it gets to a point where you like it, but you feel like you just, everything that you're doing to add to it just keeps getting modified and changed to something you don't like as well, just put it in the lamp and cure it. So you can set that part, and then you can keep working on whatever else parts you want to do. I think I'm probably about done messing with this little section up here that doesn't really want to, doesn't really want to do anything for me. Let me try using my liner brush. I find that my liner brushes can really help make things sort of look blended and even, sometimes when a larger brush can't. I think it's just the weight of the brush, because these brushes are so light, the little liner brushes. Like, I already like the way that looks better, right? I almost hate to add anything down here because I really like the way this looks, but it's all right. Add a little bit there. Just a light tap. You don't want to press. I think I like that pretty well for now. Let's cure that and then see what else we can do. So I think that looks pretty good. I really don't want to mess with it a lot more. These sorts of techniques, these marbling techniques, are really pretty, I mean, they're not basic, but once you kind of get the techniques down, you kind of don't want to do too much to it. They look a lot better with some just kind of organic brush strokes, not overthinking it, which is really hard. I always tend to overthink these kinds of designs. So I'm gonna try, this sort of helps with some dimension too, I found, with rose quartz and that kind of thing. Let's just see if it works with this. It's basically another sheer layer of the base that I put on, but over top to sort of give it like a really nice finished shiny kind of look. And because I like to dabble, let's see if I can add anything over here while keeping it looking natural. I think that looks pretty natural, right? You want some parts to look more layered, some parts on the surface. I think I'll leave it. That's pretty good for a first time. All right, so I'm gonna put that in the lamp. So now it's time for top coat. So it looks like I used 3 out of the 4 colors that I put down on my palette. So the one I didn't use was the Opaque cream color, just because I used such a creamy kind of base, that sheer creamy base, which was the Cloud 9 color by Gel 2. I didn't want to add more cream kind of white on top. I sort of like that white contrast with the creamy white. So maybe if my base was less creamy, it might look nice to add some creamy marble streaks, but I kind of like the way this looks. Till another time, you can always change it up, try something different. It's nice to have lots of ways to do things. So, I'm gonna make sure you don't have any bubbles. Great. So let's put that in. Not bad, right? And yes, let's try it on to see what it would look like. Really pretty, right? I like it. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, Amy Nick Nails, to see other videos like this. And as always, thank you for watching.